Okay, for our final card, we are going to go ahead and do our pop-up card. And there's 3 main pieces of cardstock, and the scoring directions are listed in your direction kit, so you can check those out. But we have the front of our card, the inner panel of our card, and the back of our card. And I'm going to go ahead and fold along all those score lines. The first thing I'm going to do is take the background here, which, if you'll look at the size, is set to fit inside our back layer. There's a larger piece of vanilla here. That's for stamping pieces. Make sure you don't use that one here because you want to make sure that you have the right size piece to layer in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp 2 of our berry branch pieces in Dusty Durango here on the sides of our cardstock. And then I need to add a greeting, and so I'm going to pick something from the chocolate chip sheet, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my snail to go ahead and attach this layer right in the center of the back of my card. Okay, I rub from the back side. Here I might as well put my stamp of my name here on the back, hand stamped by Meg. Okay, and then I'm going to move to the front of our card, which is the one with the holes in it, and I'm going to use my crushed curry marker and our, I don't know, buds on a branch, and go ahead and stamp a few of these here, and I'm going to do some of them stamped sort of second generation or stamped off, and that gives me a little bit of variety as to the tone. And then I think I'm going to do a little bit in the Dusty Durango. Now these I'm going to go ahead and take my scratch paper and stamp off first before I add them, since I don't want that Dusty Durango to be quite as strong on the front of our card. Alright, then this piece I'm going to add here with our strip. Now before I go ahead and just glue this straight down, because there are score lines here, I'm going to go ahead and hold it up and go ahead and fold this so that it fits along the edges. Alright, because what I don't want to do is glue it down and then have that paper be so tight that I can't fold the card along the scores where I want it. So, alright, because this card's going to get a fair amount of flexing. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer this. I'll stick it down in the center first. There we go. And then I'm going to fold it and attach that paper after I folded it. So now when it goes flat, there's going to be just a little bit of space in there. You see that? But that's okay. We want that because we want to make sure that our card easily will go folding this direction. Alright, so we have that there. Then there's a piece of crushed curry ribbon and a piece of linen thread. And this one's kind of a different way to use your linen thread, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this linen thread, whoa, as it flips around. I'm going to wrap this linen thread around here 2 or 3 times and then tie a knot on it. There's my knot. And man, I have some inky fingers. Okay, and then I have our whatever that stuff is called, our thread there, and I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of our ribbon. Get your thread slid down the ribbon where you want it first, because once you get the adhesive on, it's much harder to slide. And same as what I did with the paper, I'm going to go ahead and attach this in the center, and then I'm going to bend this back before I fold my ribbon around. So I'm going to bend this back and fold my ribbon around, and then I'm going to add just a little extra adhesive here and make sure my ribbon is nice and tight down here on the ends. I don't want that to pop out. Alright, then the last thing I'm going to do, okay, not the last thing. The last thing I'm going to do before the next to last thing is add a little button. And if you have mini glue dots handy, they're perfect for attaching buttons. You can also use one of the Stampin' Dimensionals. And these buttons are from the Playground Designer button set, and they are absolute gorgeous fall colors. So they're a great addition to this kit. And I'm going to trim the ends of our linen thread. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and, through the magic of television, I've already stamped a wheat in crushed curry, a bud branch in crushed curry, and our pheasant in the Dusty Durango. And through the magic of television, I also have those images cut out already. Look at that. Now the pheasant is not quite finished, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the coloring that I'm going to do on him, and we'll zoom in here so you can see better. Woo. There we go. All right, very close up. So the markers I'm going to use for this one are crushed curry and an assortment of others. I'll tell you as I go along, but I'm going to take my crushed curry and I'm going to color the little ring on his neck and the top of his back here. I'm going to cover the tops of his long feathers. Is anyone an ornithologist? You can tell me what colors these are. And just a little bit on the bottom of his back. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Melon Mambo marker and color just a couple more of these little feather patches in here. And maybe I'll mix up a little. Okay. And then, woo, he's flipping around. I'm going to take my Dusty Durango marker and color in just a couple more. And then last thing, I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay, which you wouldn't think would be the right color in here, but it looks really cool once you get it together. And I'm going to color in just a little, the last couple little feathers there, and then I'm going to color the rings on his tail in Bermuda Bay, and then I'll give him a blue eye too. It's like a black eye, but pheasant talk for black eye. And then we have our colored pheasant, and he looks just way cool, especially when you compare him to the plain pheasant. Doesn't he just look absolutely gorgeous with those extra colors in there? All right. Now to start attaching these pieces. For the front of our card, I'm going to go ahead and use our pheasant here and our cutout wheat. And if you're going to use your Stampin' Dimensionals, you might need to use the edges of the Stampin' Dimensionals rather than the full-on Stampin' Dimensional. And I'll go ahead and stick this down here on the back of the bottom of my wheat. Go ahead and stick this down. You want to make sure that your dimensional is sticking only through the card. If you have dimensional that sticks through over here, you're going to have your card layers sticking together, and you don't want that. So, alright, so I have sticky strip on the ends of my card. You can use your snail adhesive and go ahead and run that along there, or for the best stick you want to use sticky strip, which is the Stampin' Up! Super Adhesive. And I'm going to go ahead and layer this right on the edge, matching up the bottom, and go ahead and crease that. My outer layer here, and go ahead and bring these together. And I'm going to add some more sticky strip here on the edges. This, and bring this around the front. And you want to match up the sides of your cardstock here like this. And you know what? Did I stick it down already? Whew. Okay, a narrow miss. Usually you can't undo sticky strip. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little more snail adhesive on the side end, inside edge, so that I get a bond on the whole side here. And then we have our Shadowbox card all ready to go. Now when you put this, you can see through. Isn't that cool? When you put this in an envelope, you're going to go ahead and push it down sideways so that it's flat this way. And then when the person opens it, they're going to open it up, and then they have their inside cardstock all ready to go, and the card will pop open, and they have just a neat shadow box that they can have on display.